In a small town, there lived a boy named Ethan. Ethan was brilliant in his studies, and everyone praised his intelligence and sharp mind. However, Ethan had one big weakness: he didn't use his time wisely. His days were spent playing with friends, gaming on his phone, and indulging in unnecessary chatter. His parents tried many times to explain the value of time to him, but Ethan couldn't grasp how precious time was. He always thought, "I have plenty of time. I'll do everything later. For now, let me enjoy life." One day, the annual exam results were announced at his school. This time, Ethan scored below average, far worse than expected. His teachers, who used to praise him, were now disappointed. Even his friends started distancing themselves from him. When Ethan returned home, he saw his parents looking at his report card with visible disappointment in their eyes. Ethan felt angry at himself but didn't know how to change his habits. That night, Ethan went to his grandfather, one of the most respected and wise elders in the town. Sitting by his side, Ethan shared his troubles. "Grandpa, I don't understand why I failed this time, even though I'm a good student," he said. His grandfather listened carefully and then smiled, saying, "Son, the problem isn't that you're not a good student. The problem is that you've taken time for granted. Time is very precious if used properly. It can lead you to success. But if wasted, it will pull you back." Confused, Ethan asked, "But Grandpa, we always have time, don't we? I can always use it later, right?" His grandfather became serious and said, "No, son. Time is like the flowing water of a river. Once it flows away, it never comes back. Let me tell you a story that will help you understand the value of time." His grandfather began. "A long time ago, there was a powerful king named William. He had immense wealth, grand palaces, and countless servants. But William had a habit of wasting his time on trivial matters. He would wake up late, spend time with his friends instead of attending court, and postpone every task, saying, 'I'll do it tomorrow.' One day, a wise old man visited the king's court. He said, 'Your Majesty, you have everything, but you're wasting your most valuable treasure, time. If you don't use it wisely, one day you'll regret it deeply.' The king laughed and dismissed the warning. 'I have plenty of time. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want.' The old man cautioned him, 'Don't take time lightly. It can ruin even the greatest of kings.' But the king didn't listen. Years passed, and the king grew old. His health deteriorated, his kingdom weakened, and his soldiers began losing battles. His people lost faith in him. It was then that the king realized he had wasted his time on meaningless things. He tried to find the wise old man to seek his advice, but the man was nowhere to be found. The king regretted his actions, but time had slipped away. All his wealth and power couldn't save him. In the end, he understood that time is the real treasure. Hearing this story, Ethan was deep in thought. For the first time, he realized how much precious time he had wasted. He asked, "Grandpa, can I still change my life by using my time wisely?" His grandfather smiled and said, "Of course, son. The wheel of time never stops. If you start using your time wisely today, nothing can stop you from achieving success." But remember, don't postpone anything to tomorrow. Do what you can today. From that day onward, Ethan resolved to use his time effectively. He created a daily routine and allocated time for every task. He began waking up early, focusing on his studies, and avoiding unnecessary distractions. Gradually, Ethan began to see the results of his efforts, and in the next exam, he topped his class. Eventually, he became a successful businessman and inspired everyone with his story. The key to success is using time wisely.